you. Hi, Lan. Thank you for joining us today with us at EJable. I'm very excited to hear your story, especially with it's a company that we have never had the chance to interview from, and also from getting to know your experience as a foreigner, but also a female IT and consultant. I'm very excited to hear your story. So if you would please give us a little bit of the introduction, that would be very grateful.
Oh, yeah, thanks for inviting me for the interview. My name is Qing Yun Lan, and I come from Shanghai, China. I came to Japan 7 years ago, and right now I'm working in a consulting foreign company in Japan, Tokyo.
Mhm.
And right now, mainly my work is related to creating some IT services with
Okay.
some clients
Mhm.
in governmental and healthcare industry. And
Okay.
so mainly my work is related to like doing the programming and also doing the service design with my
Mhm.
team.
Okay.
I'm quite interested in my work, and I also like hanging out or like joining some technology events in Tokyo.
Mhm. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. So to begin with your story with how you are here in Japan, could you give us a like what was your original um how to say interaction or encounter or the reason you came to Japan?
Okay, so for my first reason, actually in my university, I also learned Japanese.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why yeah, I started learning Japanese in my university and I started
Hmm.
to learn about some Japanese cultures. And
Hmm.
during my university, I got a chance to have like a exchange program
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and came to Japan. So
Hmm.
I love Japan and also love the cultures. And that's why when I chose like what graduate school I want to go to, I chose
Hmm.
Japan.
Okay, I see. So I guess if you have been studying Japanese from your university, do you speak Japanese very fluently?
Um, Maybe not as fluent as native speakers, but like usually in my daily work, I
Mhm.
communicate with my colleagues in Japanese.
Oh,
Maybe
okay. So,
like business level.
okay, I see. Do you never use English in your work environment?
Sometimes I use English in my work because in
Mm-hmm.
my company there are also many other foreigner colleagues. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I communicate with them in English. And
Okay.
also I love like joining some tech events in Tokyo,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
usually many foreigners came to the
Oh,
events. So I
okay.
usually like communicate with them in English.
Okay, I see. Then maybe moving on to your current position as an IT consultant at your firm, what do you
Mhm.
like about your position?
I think the first thing I love about my positions is it is full of challenges because we will like have the chances to get to know different like projects and also get
Mm-hmm.
involved in different teams. So
Mm-hmm.
every project we can like get access to different kind of contents, and you will learn a lot of new things and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of like new skills from the
Mm-hmm.
project itself. And usually
Okay.
the teammates are changing, so you need to work with
Oh.
different people,
Mm-hmm.
and every time you will feel quite fresh in this project. And the second thing I think maybe is mm, because I love like doing some um, service design things and doing some
Mm-hmm.
programming things in the IT companies. And one of the reasons I like it most is that you can use the IT technologies to create a lot of very meaningful things for the society.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the things I am doing right now. I'm doing some projects related to like government industries. And
Mm-hmm.
also these projects can like have the contributions to the whole society, and many people have access
Right.
to it. So
Right.
every time after the project, you will feel like you are doing something very meaningful, and you are like
Right.
doing the contributions to the whole society.
Right. I see. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great point. If you're currently working with like a project that's for the government, or I'm not sure if it's for the
Mhm.
government, but related to the government,
Yeah.
is your team consists of mostly Japanese people?
Yes. Most of
Oh,
them are Japanese people, but still a few foreigners in the team.
okay. I see. And how do you feel working with the majority of Japanese people? Is it some maybe compared to China? Is it something that did you have to like maybe learn to adapt to their way of working, or yeah, how is that?
I think one of the maybe the difficulties, or maybe not difficulties, I think it's just the language, because
Uh-huh.
Japanese is not my native
Yeah.
language. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes maybe we'll get a little bit confused with
Mm-hmm.
like the communication with my Japanese colleagues, especially some very difficult design parts in the
Mm-hmm.
projects.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of the most difficult parts
Okay.
during my work. But other things, I think, mm, like the collaboration with my Japanese colleagues, I think everything gets quite smoothly. And
Okay.
after the meeting, we have decided what part of things that we need to do, and
Mm-hmm.
then just do the things that we are assigned. And
Mm-hmm.
then if you have some questions, you can also like raise the questions in the like the channel. We because we
Mm-hmm.
use the Teams to
All
do the
right.
communication. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we just raise the questions in the channels in the
Mm-hmm.
team software.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, if there are some people who know the answer and know how to solve the problems, and then you can just talk with them.
Okay, I see. So they're
Yeah.
quite communicative and helpful if there's
Yeah,
like a
it's very,
language
yeah,
barrier or okay, I
yeah.
see. I thought, in my opinion, when I hear about your firm that you work at, like it's one of the top firms that you hear in the consulting
Mm,
world, and I thought it was quite international, maybe because it is also a global firm.
mm-hmm.
How is like the working environment there? Can you do some like hybrid working, or do you always have to go to go to office? How is that?
So in my present projects,
Hmm.
I work like have the hybrid work.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like 4 days to the office and 1 day
Hmm.
remote work. But in my company, it like the work style really depends on the project itself, because some
Okay.
projects they need to like go to company every day,
Ah, wow.
because
Okay.
yeah, because it depends on the clients. They need to
Hmm.
have a lot of communications with the clients.
Yeah.
And some projects maybe have the full remote work.
Okay.
And also some projects, maybe most of them are Japanese, and some projects because it's a like a international project, maybe most of them are foreigners. So I
Hmm.
think like in my company, like different projects have different work style, and also have different like the work. Also, some of them they need to go to the office. Some of them they
Mm.
just work at the client office. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
very
Interesting.
different. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so very different from project to project.
Yes.
Okay, so then moving on to the next question.
Hmm.
Um, At the firm that you're working now, do you find any differences in the project execution styles in Japan compared to China, or maybe in previous companies that you've worked at?
Um, I think maybe yes. Um, well, for example, like compared to
Mm-hmm.
my previous company usually doing some service design with
Mm-hmm.
the company owned services. But
Okay.
right now, because it's a IT consulting company, so
Mm-hmm.
mainly we do the service design and also do the projects for the
Mm-hmm.
clients. So it's
Right.
quite different.
Okay.
So in my previous company, I think mainly we worked on ourselves because
Mm,
like it's a service created
yeah.
by the company.
Yeah.
So the service has already been launched. So
Mm-hmm.
mainly the work is fixing the bugs or like
Mm,
launching some new functions.
yeah.
And so mainly work on ourselves, not much communications with the team, I felt. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I see.
yeah. But right now in the IT consulting companies, because most of the projects were created from the zero. So you need to
Oh.
do the design and also do the communications with the company from the very beginning, and you need to
Mm-hmm.
create the service from the very beginning. And
Okay.
the like how to design the company, how to design the project or how to design the database,
Mm-hmm.
everything you need to think about it and you need to talk with your teams.
Right.
And the project right now mainly are the team works.
Mm-hmm.
So how to collaborate with your teammates and how to
Mm-hmm.
make everything smoothly is quite important, I
Okay.
think.
And
But yeah, and
how big is your team, if I may ask? Just around a number.
if the maybe like 80, 70
Oh,
to
wow.
80
Okay.
members,
I see.
but
Okay.
different
Yeah, of
groups,
course.
like including task groups, like
Mm-hmm.
developer groups, design groups.
Yeah. Okay. I see.
And
Um, yeah, go
uh,
ahead.
sorry, and work style compared with China because I haven't worked in China. I
Uh-huh.
directly work here in
Mm-hmm.
Japan after the
Mm-hmm.
graduation. So maybe I'm not really clear about the work style in China, but there are also many Chinese colleagues in my company. So I think
Okay.
usually maybe mostly about the service design projects. I think we can work quite smoothly in the team.
Uh-huh. I see. Great. Then
Mhm.
maybe last questions regarding your work. Do you have any goals for your career here in Japan or a career as a IT consultant?
Oh, yes. So for my position right now, I mainly do the developers and also
Mm-hmm.
sometimes doing the service design in my team.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe after a few years, I wish I can gain more experience and I can
Mm-hmm.
lead a team to do the projects.
Uh-huh.
Maybe that's
Right.
my goal.
Okay. Great.
And I also wish I can gain more experience about how to leading a team and how to managing a team because that's
Mm.
another thing that I need to learn a lot
Mm-hmm.
during these
Yeah,
years.
I
Yeah.
agree. I mean, managing 80 people is
Yes.
quite a big task on
Yeah.
top of, yeah, what you will have to do more. Then,
Mhm.
do you have any tips or advice for interviews that they will have to do when they are applying for jobs in maybe IT or consulting firms in Japan?
Oh, yes. So the most important thing I think is to find your interest. And
Okay.
even like in the IT industry, it has many different kind of jobs and have many different kind of like projects. So
Mm-hmm.
the most important thing is to get to know like what kind of industry, what kind of um, work you want to
Mm-hmm.
do before
Mm.
applying a job, and then you can just start to like doing some investigation about different kind of companies and to find what
Mm-hmm.
kind of career path you want to follow.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh, how did you find what you wanted to do?
Actually, it's a quite long way before
Uh-huh.
knowing what kind of things I want to do. In my uh, graduate school, my major
Mm-hmm.
was media design and technologies. During
Okay.
that time, I knew like I'm interested in IT companies, but at that time, I'm still didn't quite clear about what kind of position, what kind of work I really want to go to. I think
Mm.
after doing some maybe the internships in
Right.
Japan, I
Mm-hmm.
started to have a full image of the work and then
Yeah.
started to get to know like what kind of thing that I really want to do.
Okay. And nowadays, there's a lot of license in terms of
Mhm.
IT. Do you
Yeah.
think having these licenses or certificates help in maybe, how do you say that? When you are applying for the job?
I think it's quite helpful. It can be um you like mainly during the interviews or like
Mhm.
when the interviewers want to see your uh like your resume. I think it's
Mhm.
quite important, but still it's quite important to know like what kind of certificate you want to gain, like
Oh, right.
yeah, what kind of certificate is related to the position you want to apply for. That's the
Mm,
more important thing.
right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's a great advice.
Mhm.
Thank you for that. Then moving on to kind of like the social and outside of work aspects, um, do you have what were there any how do I say ideas that you had of Japan that have changed over the time of 7 years that you've spent here in a good way or in a bad way?
Um, well, maybe I think the work style.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like during these years, more and more IT companies, um, maybe after Corona, and
Mm-hmm.
more companies can like offer more candidates about of the freedom in working style, like the
Mm-hmm.
hybrid work style, and also including like the collaboration with different people from different countries or
Mm-hmm.
different cultural backgrounds. I
Yeah.
think in my company, I think it's a case. Maybe it's a foreign company, so there
Mm-hmm.
are a lot of foreigners in my
Mm-hmm.
company, so you can do a lot of work and do a lot of collaboration with people from different background and cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah, it in
Okay.
some way, yeah, it helps like creating more like new insights in the company.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I guess a lot of people tend to have the idea that because Japan is such an island country, maybe
Mm-hmm.
not a lot of foreigners are there in
Yeah.
their working environment. But I guess that's changing a little bit
Mm-hmm.
by little bit. Then next question would be what aspects of Japan or the Japanese culture do you like or do you enjoy?
Um, I like the exhibitions here.
Oh.
Yeah. And especially like these years, I think the modern art in Japan gets
Mm-hmm.
more and more interesting. It's not
Okay.
just the traditional art. Sometimes it
Mm-hmm.
also includes a lot of technological elements like
Okay.
VR or
Ah.
like NFT,
Mm-hmm.
virtual things, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things. So I think um, the exhibitions here can be like a new identity of Japan
Oh,
and bring a
okay.
lot of new insights. Yeah.
Okay. Is that how you spend your free time? Going to
Yeah.
exhibitions around?
Yes.
Okay. And how do you find these exhibitions? Is it through like a online, maybe, I don't know, like websites, or yeah, how do you get to know that these exhibitions exist?
Yeah, maybe from online, also from my friends.
Uh-huh.
Many of my friends, they also quite interested in these kind of modern art exhibitions in Japan. And
Okay.
maybe many like IT workers like
Mm-hmm.
around me, they
Mm-hmm.
they are also interested in those technological things like robotic
Okay.
things and
Yeah.
things. So yeah, from them I also get a lot of information about the exhibition.
Okay. Do you spend time with your colleagues or your team outside of working hours? Because in Japan we have,
Mhm.
like nomikai or all
Yeah.
these kind of like kais, or like, how do you say, like events or meetings outside of working hours. Is that something you have with your team as well?
Yes. So every time after the project ends, we have nomikai.
Uh-huh.
And also we have Gai, the New Year
Yeah.
event.
Okay. Do you enjoy these events that you have with your colleagues?
Yes, sometimes I quite enjoyed it. Sometimes because it's a very big event and many people you maybe you haven't met before,
Uh-huh.
maybe from other projects. So maybe get a little bit embarrassed, but still feel happy to know a lot of new colleagues
Mm-hmm.
from the
Okay.
event.
Yeah, I see. Um, then has there been any things that you don't like about Japan or the working culture in Japan?
Maybe not. I think I quite enjoy my
Mm-hmm.
life in Japan right now and also enjoy my work in my
Okay,
company.
great. Then how do you like I'm not sure where you were from in China, but I think a lot of people have the image that Tokyo is such a big metropolitan city, so like filled with people and it's so busy. How
Mhm.
do you like Tokyo in that sense?
I think Tokyo is a city full of fun. Um, so from my work,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the collaboration with my teammates gets quite smoothly and
Mm-hmm.
quite also got a lot of new challenges
Mm-hmm.
to get access to different work. And in my free time, sometimes I go to those exhibitions I mentioned before. And
Mm-hmm.
also, I also have made a lot of new friends from
Oh,
technological events and also maybe sometimes with the colleagues.
uh-huh.
And the
Yeah.
food here quite tastes quite good and delicious.
Okay.
I love
Uh-huh.
sushi. I love sukiyaki. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nice.
I
Okay, so
enjoy the life here.
okay, amazing. Then maybe has there been any place that you visited outside of Tokyo that you've really liked and maybe recommend to people to try and go there?
I think I will recommend Hokkaido
Ah, I see.
because it's a place where you can have a lot of tasty food and fresh food there.
Okay.
And every season there is quite beautiful.
Okay.
Like the winter, you can see the snow, and
Uh-huh.
in summer, you can enjoy the lavender.
Oh, right. Yes, they have those
Yeah,
big farms. Oh, nice.
yeah. It's a
Okay.
really nice place. I want to recommend.
Okay, amazing. I should try going to Hokkaido. Yeah, one day. Then my last question from my side is for those who wish to work in Japan or is looking for a job in Japan, do you have any final tips or advice?
Yeah. So if you can speak Japanese, and then
Mm-hmm.
maybe you can try to uh like make full strength of yourself uh
Mm-hmm.
to find maybe you can go to some Japanese companies but have foreigner teams, or
Mm-hmm.
the foreign companies but they need Japanese. So then you
Ah,
can have a full potential to do the work here. But if you
mm-hmm.
cannot speak Japanese, only can speak English, and then you don't need to worry about it, because in
Okay.
Japan there's still a lot of chances to get a great position only in English.
Oh,
Like the
wow. Okay.
multinational companies, you can
Yeah.
have the full English teams. And
Mm.
even like in some like startups, or there are also some Japanese companies, because they want to be global. So they also need
Mm.
to create some global teams in their
Right.
company. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Great. Well, thank you for the advice. And also, thank you for your time today. I had a great time getting to know your story here in Japan. And
Thank
thank you
you
so much.
too.